Dusty words. Chapter 1 Troubled Times. Yuntai City, the morning mist is like a waterfall. In the Eastern Region's Criminal Investigation Bureau, more than a dozen detectives had solemn faces, and a man wearing silver wire glasses was leaning over the pile of files. His eyebrows were indifferent, and he casually threw a pile of files at others. According to this logic, the murderer is either your mother or your ancestor. The man's tone was flat, but his voice was as cold as ice, piercing people's hearts. The one who was scolded was the deputy director of the department, whose name was Yunai, who was rampant and domineering on weekdays, but at the moment he was so frightened that he couldn't speak, and he could only blush neck and stare at the man. Deputy you better pay off your grandson's gambling debts first and then solve the case, lest your garage catch fire again tonight. Everyone inhaled secretly. This person was the psychological counselor in the department, known as Li Xiaochen, the most unreasonable monster in the city, but also superb. Xiaochen's nature is thin and cold, his behavior is perverse, and his mouth is vicious. From the agent to the director, there is no one who has not been scolded by him. But he has insight into people's hearts, judges cases like a god, and can decide the truth with one word at every critical moment, which makes everyone hate Ichi, but there is nothing to be done. At this moment, the door was suddenly pushed open, and a figure was like 3 winters of snow into a sudden spring, with a natural calmness between the steps. It's so lively. As soon as this voice came out, Li Xiaoqin's body, which was originally half leaning on the edge of the table, suddenly stiffened, his face visibly stiffened for half a second, and when he turned his head, he saw a man wearing a long dark green windbreaker and a silver business card holder on his shoulder, standing at the door carelessly. Everyone gasped, and Yunai jumped up as if he had seen a ghost, and hurriedly tidied up his clothes. Isn't this Dr. Ling Wangchen? That's right, this person is Li Xiaoqin's fellow senior brother when he studied abroad, a doctor of international criminal psychology, known as the first person to deconstruct people's hearts. Everyone gave way, only Xiaochen stood in place, gritted his teeth and smiled. What kind of wind blew you back, senior brother Ling? Ling Wangchen smiled, his eyes swept over his face, as if he was smiling, and his tone was understated. Little junior brother, after so many years, do you still have a crush on me? There was a dead silence. The corners of Yuchen's mouth twitched, and he forced himself to remain calm. Get lost. Ling Wangchen laughed, walked straight to him, stretched out his hand and grabbed his shoulder casually, and said, I haven't seen you for a long time. I heard that you are tyrannical here, bullying men and women, and today I will do the right thing for heaven. Li Xiaochen was so angry that his teeth itched, but he couldn't refute it. Chapter 2, The Mountain of Corpses and Bloody Road. Recently, there have been several bizarre cases of corpse mutilation in Yuntai City. The murderer's methods are cruel, each corpse has been dissected, the heart is missing, and there are strange runes left at the scene. The identity of the deceased ranged from ignorant beggars to officials and magnates, and none of them were spared. The department was full of anxiety, but Li Xiaochen was always lacking in interest, only raising cats and feeding birds in the office, and rolling dice for divination from time to time. Until the 5th body appeared, the deceased turned out to be the director's own nephew. Chu Luni was furious and asked Li Xiaochen and Ling Weiqan to work together to solve the case within 3 days, otherwise they would be charged with dereliction of duty. Xiao Chen sneered, but he had nothing to say. He could only partner with the senior brother who made the roots of his teeth itch. The two of them investigated the scene of the crime at night. The dilapidated old mansion was gloomy, and strange handwriting remained on the ground. Ling Wangchen squatted down to take a closer look, and said softly, This is the soul aversion spell in the mirror, which is recorded in ancient books, and the soul of the walking corpse is fed by people's efforts. Li Xiaochen frowned, Isn't this kind of thing extinct a long time ago? If someone starts it again, it must be related to the Sijing Tower. Ling Yuchen said calmly. When it comes to Sijinglu, a touch of gloom flashes under the eyes of Xiaochen. It was an evil organization that was rampant in the eastern regions back then, specializing in the art of worshipping mirrors with the heart, and he lost his relatives when he was a teenager. The two glanced at each other, knowing that the case was in dire straits. Chapter 3 Tired of the mirror in the middle of the night. After an overnight investigation, the two found out that the deceased had been in contact with a mysterious woman named Yu Huixin. Her identity was unknown and her whereabouts were mysterious. After several traces, an abandoned theater building was finally locked. In the theater building, red lanterns are swaying, puppets are stacked on top of each other, and a cracked mirror hangs in the center, and countless twisted faces can be faintly seen in the mirror. Dressed in crimson clothes and covered with silver veil, Wan Vanishing Xian held a mirror talisman and chanted a curse. Xiao Chen raised his eyebrows. It's really an old acquaintance. It turns out that Yu Huixin was once a remnant of Sijing Tower. He had an unresolved blood feud with the Li family. He reappeared today and wanted to use human blood to rebuild Sijing. The face of the person in the mirror was distorted and struggling. Ling Wangchen took a step forward and said lightly, You are a little crooked, and you dare to be ugly in front of me. He Huixin sneered, you and I were brothers back then. If you hadn't rebelled against your master, how could I have ended up like this? Xiao Yan was stunned and looked at Ling Wangchen in astonishment. You and her. Ling Wangchen was indifferent, the last palm print of Cai Jinglu is my master and her father. Li Suchen's mind was buzzing, as if struck by a bolt from the blue. Chapter 4, Reversal of the Blood Pact. The two sides fought, and Li Xiaochen and Ling Wangchen joined forces to break the spell formation. Ling Wangchen performed the heart mirror technique, using his own soul as a guide, and temporarily sealed the mirror. He Huixin was seriously injured and fell to the ground, muttering, the world has betrayed me, only the mirror knows my heart. Before she died, she handed the mirror to Li Chen and whispered, there is another master in the mirror. If you don't get rid of it, we will all be puppets. After saying this, he died. Li Shuchen took the mirror and looked at himself, only to see a familiar face reflected in it. It was his own. Ling Yuchen beside him was also reflected in the mirror, and both of them had solemn expressions. Ling Yuchen smiled bitterly, I see. It turns out that when the Caijing Tower was destroyed, the main mirror was not destroyed, and it was hidden from the world, lurking like a mirror spirit. All those who are related to the bloodline of Caijing Tower are controlled by it. This murder was actually caused by the mirror soul seeking revenge, with the intention of reforging the blood contract. The person in whom the mirror soul resided was actually Chu Luni. Chapter 5 Breaking Through the Mirror. In the middle of the night, Ling Weiken and Li Shishan broke into the secret room of the office. Chu Luni was offering blood at the secret altar, and the shadow in the mirror behind him was moving. The fierce battle resumed, and the flesh and blood of the crane hearing collapsed, and the mirror soul appeared, turning into a mirror with 10,000 faces, wanting to swallow the souls of the two. Ling Yuchen made a prompt decision and poured his heart and soul into Ci Jing, resulting in both him and Jinghan being injured. Li Shechen desperately smashed the main mirror, and the mirror soul collapsed into the void. Chu Luni was then reduced to dust, and the evidence of his guilt was exposed, shocking the whole office and all the officials were terrified. Li Xiaochen hugged the dying Ling Xiaochen and smiled bitterly, little junior brother has had a crush on you for so many years, and you are not allowed to die. Ling Wangchen struggled and pulled out a smile, get out. The two smiled at each other, and the bloody storm finally ended. Chapter 6, The Lost City Through the Mirror. After the mirror soul turmoil, the lives of Li Shuchen and Ling Wangchen have not returned to peace. Although Yuntai City has returned to a relatively peaceful state, a more far-reaching crisis has quietly emerged. Do you believe that there really is a lost city of mirrors in this world? On a quiet night, Ling Wangchen suddenly asked. Li Xiaochen put down the teacup in his hand, pondered for a moment, raised his head and looked at his senior brother. Lost city outside the mirror? You mean that? A legendary secret realm? Legends? It's not just a legend. Ling Wangchen said in a low tone, the lost city outside the mirror is the last place for the mirror soul, and countless mirror masters have tried to rebuild it. If it reappears, there will be nowhere to hide. Hearing this, Li Xiaoqin's heart sank suddenly, and then, a trace of determination flashed in his eyes, we won't let it reappear. Ling Wangchen smiled coldly, there are some things that can't be escaped. He didn't say anything more, but he had an unfathomable aura of his own. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 7, The Gate of the Dead. A few days later, Li Xiaochen and Ling Wangchen received a strange case. This case did not come from the police, but from a mysterious organization called September House. The letter from September Lu mentioned that there was a young woman named Kei Sunyu, who had been missing for many days, who had lived in Yuntai City since she was a child, and had recently disappeared due to a mysterious dream. The letter even mentioned that Kei Sunyu's family background is extremely strange, and her ancestors were once related to the mirror beyond the mirror, and may even be part of it. Li Shuchen and Ling Wangchen followed the clues and came to the abandoned ancient mansion located on the edge of the city. This ancient mansion stands in a dense forest, and there is a cold smell in the darkness. When they walked into the old house, all the furniture and walls were covered with dust, and the whole house seemed to be sleeping for 100 years, and the air was extremely heavy. When they enter the basement, they find a strange door. The door was made of an ancient bronze mirror, which was so smooth that it reflected the figures of the two men, but there was no light. Ling Wangchen stared at the door, his eyes became extremely deep, this is the entrance to the lost city outside the mirror. Li Shuchen frowned, and there was a faint sense of foreboding in his heart, we have to be careful. At this moment, the mirror on the door suddenly vibrate, the light and shadow distorted, and a low murmur came from the air. Then, a miserable hand reached out from the mirror and grabbed Ling Wangchen's wrist violently. Li Xiaochen reacted quickly and pulled Ling Wangchen back, and the mirror door closed immediately. Senior brother, this is not the place we should be. Li Xiaoqin's voice was calm and firm. Ling Wangchen rubbed his scratched wrist and looked solemn, this door, once opened, no longer belongs to the present world. They turned to leave the ancient mansion, but they already had a sense of foreboding in their hearts. The secrets of the mirror beyond the mirror are far more terrifying than they think. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 8, The Echo of the Mirror Soul. As the case deepened, Li Shuchen and Ling Wangchen discovered that Kei Sunyu's disappearance was not accidental. Her family is inextricably linked to the Mirror Labyrinth, and the heirs of this family seem to be on their way to the Mirror Labyrinth. However, it all seems that it is not simple. Just when they investigated deeply, they accidentally discovered Kei Sunyu's true identity. She was not an ordinary human, but the reincarnation of the Mirror Soul. It turned out that Kei Sunyu's ancestors had been deeply involved in evil magic in the maze outside the mirror, and formed a blood pact with the Mirror Soul. Her existence is precisely to restart the revival of the mirror beyond the mirror, and all of this is planned by a mysterious organization called Netherworld Pavilion. The goal of the Netherworld Pavilion is very clear. They want to use Kei Sunyu as a medium to regenerate the mirror soul of the mirror lost city, and then control the entire world. Li Shuchen and Ling Wangchen began to team up to investigate the whereabouts of the Netherworld Pavilion and seek any way to destroy the mirror soul. Thanks to their efforts, they finally found the heirloom artifact known as the Sword of Broken Mirrors, which can slash through the soul of the mirror and seal all the power of the maze outside the mirror. But just as they were about to act, Ling Wangchen suddenly revealed an amazing secret to Li Xiaochen. The sword of breaking the mirror. It's not that we want to destroy the mirror soul, but to rescue the mirror soul. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 9, Rescue of the Mirror Soul. It turns out that the mirror soul is not completely evil. As far as Ling Wangchen knows, the mirror soul was born in a tragedy, and its essence is a betrayed soul that longs for freedom, not control of the whole world. If they can find a way to break the shackles of the mirror soul, it will become their ally, not their enemy. In the process of cracking the secret of the mirror soul, Li Shuchen and Ling Wangchen discovered the indescribable emotion in their hearts. The two have never said it explicitly, but the deep tacit understanding between each other has long surpassed the friendship between brothers and sisters. Eventually, they succeeded in finding a way to save the mirror soul by fusing their soul with the mirror soul as a sacrifice of their hearts, breaking the seal on it, and giving it a chance to be reborn. But such a move also means that the two will always be bound to the mirror soul and can no longer be completely separated from the present world. Just as they were about to complete the ritual, Kei Sunyu finally appeared and told them that she did not want the mirror soul to be reborn, and her fate was already sealed. Chapter 10, The End of the Mirror Lost City. In the final showdown, Li Shuchen and Ling Wangchen resolutely merged their souls into the mirror soul and unlocked the seal of the maze outside the mirror. In the end, the mirror soul did not become an evil being, but chose to dissipate itself and disappear into endless time and space. When all the dust settled, Ling Wangchen and Li Xiaochen stood in front of the broken mirror, and the two stood side by side, looking at each other and smiling. The shadow of the maze outside the mirror has finally completely dispersed.